Friends, today we are going to start from problem number 42 to 46 from CMA Math, and this is a updated CMA Math. This is updated CMA 2022 edition Math on direct taxes, and we are continuing with the house property. So friends, in the problem number 42, we are going to see to find out the gross annual value of the property. आप थोड़ा क्वेश्चन पर ध्यान रखिए, क्वेश्चन थोड़ा नोट कर लीजिए, so that it will be easier to follow. Then please see the question number 43. This is illustration 43, where there is a unrealized rent as well as vacancy. जहाँ unrealized rent of the current year is deductible from the annual rent, vacancy also deductible from annual rent, so that we can find out the actual rent. So annual rent minus unrealized rent of the current year and vacancy equal to actual rent. So this is problem 43. आप थोड़ा देख लीजिए स्क्रीन में problem 43. This also we shall solve. Then coming to problem number 44, here also we have to find out the annual value of the property. Here there is a vacancy also there. So problem number 44 is just like the earlier problem. Also we shall discuss and solve this. Then coming to problem number 45, this is also annual value. Here there are 3 house properties and we have to calculate the annual value. So problem 38 to problem 46, 45 all are considered with the determination of annual value or determination of expected rent or reasonable expected rent. Friends, with this we will start with the problem. Friends, let us start with the problem number 42. The problem number 42 is a good problem, I should say, for finding out the gross annual value. Here X was the owner, house property in Pune, and municipal value 2 lakh, fair rent 1,80,000, standard rent 2,10,000. But X was getting rupees 10,000 as rent up to 15/10/2022. After 15/10/2022, that is from 16/10/2022 to 28/2/2022. This is 4.5 months. It is 12,000. Rent is 12,000 per month. So friends, the question is, X transferred the house on 28th February 2022. So X is not the owner of the house as on 31/3/2023. So X was the owner of the house from 1/4/2022 to 28 to 2023. 28 to 2023. X was the owner. So X was the owner for 11 months. X was the owner for 11 months. Therefore, we have to take the municipal value for 11 months, fair rent for 11 months, standard rent for 11 months. Actual rent is automatically for 11 months. But in actual rent, the house property was let out from 1/4/2022 to 15/10/2022 at a rate of 10,000 per month. So it is 6.5 months, it comes to 65,000. Again, from 16/10/2022 to 28/2/2023, it is 4.5 months and 54,000. So total coming 1,19,000. This is your actual rent. Now we have to find out the gross annual value. Friends, municipal value or fair rent, whichever is higher. So this and this, whichever is higher. So municipal value is the higher one here. Municipal value is the higher. So what is higher? 1,80,000 is the higher value. So this 1,83,333 will be taken to the next step. This is step 2. 1,83,333 and 1,92,500. It comes to whichever is lower. So higher will be compared with 1,92,500. This is municipal value or fair rent, which is higher. Then that higher and standard rent, which is lower. Then lower and actual rent will be compared. This is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3. So municipal value 1,83,333, fair rent 1,65,000, which is higher 1,83,333. Standard rent 1,92,500, which is lower. So lower is your 1,83,333. Actual rent is 1,19,000, and this actual rent is less than the standard expected rent. Actual rent is less than reasonable expected rent, but not due to vacancy. There is no vacancy here. So if there is no vacancy, then RER, that is reasonable expected rent or expected rent, will be the gross annual value. So in this problem, the actual rent is less than RER, but not due to vacancy, due to other factors. कोई other factor के लिए होता है friends, then RER or expected rent is the annual value or gross annual value of the house property. So in this problem, gross annual value will be 1,83,333. This will be gross annual value. So friends, let us come to problem number 43. So problem number 43. Here again there are 3 houses and you have to calculate the annual value of the house property or gross annual value. But here the specific character is property remain vacant, that is there is a vacancy here. Unrealized rent is also here. So with unrealized rent and vacancy we have to calculate the gross annual value. So let us start with there are 3 houses and I will be doing house number 113, because if I do 113, 111 and 112 will be easier for you. It is same thing, because therefore I am going to do house number, this is problem 43, house property number 133. House property number 133. So friends, find out the gross annual value. Municipal value is given here. Municipal value 120. This is municipal value. Figures are in thousand. Fair rent 240. Fair rent 240 and actual rent, standard rent 300, standard rent is 300, actual rent, that is annual rent, the annual rent is 150, so at annual rent, this is not actual rent will come annual rent minus unrealized rent minus vacancy, you will get the actual rent. So friends, annual rent minus unrealized rent of previous year, concerned previous year, minus vacancy, this is actual rent, this is actual rent. So here the annual rent is 150, unrealized rent of 22-23, that is current previous year, this is 20, and property remain vacant for, there is no vacancy here in property number, house property number 113, there is no vacancy. But unrealized rent of 21, 22, 60 is given. Friends, I am like to tell you, unrealized rent of concerned previous year, I am telling time and again. If our assessment year is 23, 24, previous year 22, 23, unrealized rent of 22, 23 will be deducted here. Unrealized rent of 21, 22, they have given you 60. That will not be considered here in determination of annual value of the house property. So very important, unrealized rent of concerned previous year. Some students, they take unrealized rent means it will be deducted, but this is wrong. You note it, unrealized rent of current previous year will only be deducted. And in this flat, in this house property 113, there is no vacancy. So friends, let us come to, this is annual rent actual rent will be your 150 minus unrealized rent. Unrealized rent is here 20. So actual rent is 130. So now we will come to the flow chart. Municipal value or fair rent, whichever is higher, 240. 240 and 300 जो standard rent, step 2. This is 240, whichever is lower. So 240. This 240 will be compared with actual rent. No vacancy here. That means actual rent is less than RER or expected rent. Actual rent is less, but not due to vacancy, due to other factors. So RER will be the gross annual value. So RER that is 240 is the gross annual value of property number 113. So friends, in this problem there are other two properties and things are similar. You can just go through that and solve it. So this is problem 43. Friends, let us come to problem number 44. This is again to find out the gross annual value. In problem number 44, there are two houses, 111 and house number 1 and house number 2. Here find out the gross annual value, standard rent. Municipal value is given, fair rent is given, standard rent is given, actual rent again from April to July. Then again from October to February. So August, September, 2 months are vacant, and March 2023 it is also vacant. So let us come to property number 112, house number 112. In house number 112, municipal value is given as 60,000. Municipal value is given as 60,000. Fair rent 70. Fair rent is 70,000. Fair rent, this is 70,000. Fair rent. And standard rent as per Rent Control Act, standard rent is 50,000. Actual rent, I am taking actual rent here. Friends, is in this question the rent per month is 5,000, 6,000 for property number 112. It is 6,000 per month up to July 31st. So April, May, June, July, 4 months. 4 into 6,000. That is from April to July 31st. From October 1 to February 23, it is 8,500. So October to February, 5 months. This is 5 into 8,500. So 4 into 6,000 and 8,500 into 5. This total coming to 66,500. This is your actual rent, 66,500. So friends, with this, let us start the problem. Municipal value or fair rent, whichever is higher. Municipal value or fair rent, whichever is higher. This is 70,000. 70,000 and standard rent, whichever is lower. This is 50,000. So 50,000 is your RER. So RER is equal to 50,000. Now actual rent, that is AR, is 66,500. So here actual rent is greater than RER. Since actual rent is greater than RER, actual rent is annual value. So actual rent is gross annual value of property number 112. This is 66,500. So we determined the gross annual value of this house property. Then friends, this is problem number 44. And another one house is there in problem 44. This is house number 111. This is say similar. Therefore, I am not doing it and wasting your time. Then going to problem number 45. Problem number 45. This is the last problem of determination of gross annual value only, because problem 38 to 45, as I have told you, they are all gross annual value. Reasonable expected rent calculation tha. From 46 we will have a complete problem up to 62. So this is problem 45. Find out the gross annual value in respect of the following property. In problem number 45, there are 3 houses, 111, 112, 113, and we will be doing 113, and 111 and 112 will be left to you because the things are same. So let us start with the problem. Municipal property number 113. Municipal value is your 600. This is municipal value. Rent of similar property. Friends, rent of similar property का मतलब जो कि same locality, same facility, everything same, दूसरा हाउस का रेंट कितना, उसको बोलते हैं फेयर रेंट. So a similar house has got a let out rent is say X. That means this house will have a rent of X only. बगल वाला हाउस अगर सेम फैसिलिटी इतना रेंट होता है तो इसी हाउस का भी फेयर रेंट और मार्केट रेंट इज दिस मच. दिस इज रेंट ऑफ सिमिलर प्रॉपर्टी इन द सेम लोकेलिटी, दैट इज फेयर रेंट. Only a language change is here, nothing else. And rent determined by the Rent Control Act, this is your standard rent. So standard rent is given to you 700. This is 700 is the standard rent. Then actual rent receivable, that is annual rent. Annual rent 600. Annual rent is 600. Unrealized rent भी दे दिए. Unrealized rent of current year. Unrealized rent 22-23. Current year, this comes to 150. Then vacancy. The vacancy is for 2 months. So 600 for 12 months. Throughout the year 600 is the rent. Vacancy is 2 months. So 600 by 12 into 2. It comes to 500. Or we can say 100 will be less. So friends, with this information we can go for the determination of annual value. This is your actual rent, AR. Actual rent is your actual. Let us come to the step 1. This is municipal value or fair rent, whichever is higher. So 600 दोनों equal है. Therefore we are taking 600 here. Standard rent 700. Your RER is equal to 600. RER is 600. Now reasonable expected rent is 600 and your actual rent 600 minus 150, it comes to 450. So if you compare this 450, then we are seeing that the unrealized rent 600 was the annual rent, unrealized rent is 450 and actual rent is 450. So we compare actual rent 450, but we have to deduct again the vacancy, that is 100. So I can say actual rent is 350. Right? So RER, actual rent is less than RER, but actual rent is less than RER not due to vacancy. It is not due to vacancy here. It is not due to vacancy, because अगर आपका वैकेंसी में ऐड कर देते हैं 350 प्लस 100, हाउ मच इट इज कमिंग 450. अगर वैकेंसी नहीं है देन आई वुड हैव गॉट ओनली 450 हियर. आई वुड हैव गॉट 450 हियर if there is no vacancy. In your question they have given you unrealized rent they have given you 150 here, but in the answer they have given you some other thing. Anyhow, whatever I am doing here, you please concentrate, and this is correct. So area is 600 and actual rent is 350. Suppose the vacancy is not there, then how much I am going to get? 450. अगर में वैकेंसी नहीं है तो मेरे को 450 मिलेगा. That means the AR is less than area due to some other factors. Agar if there is no vacancy, then how much I am going to get? 450. Because the annual rent is 600. So I am going to get 600. And if I will deduct the vacancy here, that is unrealized rent here, it comes to 450. Now that means अगर आपका वैकेंसी नहीं है फिर भी RER is greater, so gross annual value will be 600. Gross annual value will be 600, and from this vacancy will be deducted. So gross annual value will be 600, and from this vacancy will be deducted. So friends, from 38 to 45 only gross annual value determination was there, and after that there is a self-test question of same determination of gross annual value, and I hope you will you can solve it and enjoy that. Then the problem of annual value is coming with municipal tax paid, that is problem number 46, and we shall continue this problem in the next class.